Well, hey everybody, it is the big Record Store Day Black Friday 2018 video. It's the big one, and it's episode 44 of Record Time with Tom and Max and Chris. Tom and Max are going to help me out with this one because, well, I just had abdominal surgery and carrying big boxes of records from the store to my office was just not going to happen. If you've seen the last few Record Time with Chris's, you know that I've been going through some stuff here in the office. But Max and Tom, like, just, I'm not going to rip my freaking stomach back open, just anyhow. So, fortunately, we got Tom and Max, and they're awesome, as you know. So, they're going to kick it off with a whole bunch of stuff that I haven't even seen yet.
Things up, you know, break up the boredom.
Oh, this is part of the video. Well, I guess I could just go then. Hey, we're back. We missed you guys. I hope you missed us. Black Friday Record Store Day. Let me get back on track. It's coming up, and we're gonna run through some of the things that we're excited about, and hopefully you're excited about. But first, I'm gonna debut something very near and dear to my heart, and it's this beautiful Bull Moose trucker hat with the Lewis to Mall Play logo thing.
Yes.
I love it. So, Max, why don't you talk about some music?
All right. Record Store Day. We've got the Breeders Safari EP from 1992. It's got the Who cover on there.
Tricky.
What do you got, Tom?
First things first, we got first recordings of Hank Williams, 1938. A couple of very early Hank Williams cuts. You know, I figured I'd start things off with some classics.
Right. Speaking of classics, Only Living Witness, their first record, Boston's own, in split orange and purple vinyl.
Speaking of classics. We got a couple of singles from Paul McCartney's latest album, which I was pleasantly surprised with. I thought it was real good.
I enjoyed it.
You know, we got I Don't Know, you know, hand numbered, which is cool. Yeah. I don't know.
We got this die cut Dio Holy Diver single.
I thought you were about to call it Dio.
35th anniversary of Holy Diver, recorded live, 1983. Look at that.
Holy Diver.
Look at that.
You want me to just sing Holy Diver?
Yeah, could you?
Let's forget the video. I'm just gonna sing Holy Diver.
Gotta get away, Holy Diver.
We have the Harry Nilsson demos from the Popeye soundtrack, which, if you've never listened to the Popeye soundtrack, it's great, and Harry Nilsson is great. So these are the original demos that he sent over, that he just recorded in his house. He was like, hey, let me do the soundtrack for Popeye. And they were like, you know what, yeah, this is great.
10th anniversary reissue, Saul Williams. This record is produced by Trent Reznor from Nine Inch Nails fame. So if you can imagine what those two sound like together. Wait no longer, because back on vinyl after all these years. And there's a nice little kitty with an eye patch.
Would you say he's a pirate?
I'm not going to assume anything.
Dead Kennedys, Iguana Studios rehearsal tape, San Francisco, 1978. My job is easy. I just read what's on the front of the album. So maybe, you know, if you ever want to hear Jello in a more natural and more raw state than you already have, how's that even possible? This is where you need to go.
Rockarola debut album from Judas Priest. Nice embossed cover here. Cola green 180 gram vinyl. What is really interesting to me is Rob Halford is credited as Bob Halford before he went Rob.
Bobby.
So,
Baby Metal. Mick explained this to me earlier. It sounded pretty cool. It was like a Japanese idol group mixed with metal. Shout out to Jasenia. I know she's a fan. She's got like a shrine to Baby Metal somewhere in her house.
Shout out to Rob Zombie. I know he's a fan.
Yeah.
I'm sure he has the shrine as well. What We Do Is Secret. Germs. This has been out of print for over 3 decades. Compilation. There's a Chuck Berry cover on here. So if you need some Darby in your life.
Speaking of dogs, Here's Fritz the Cat. See what I did there? We got a Fritz the Cat soundtrack picture disc with a sweet little R. Crumb illustration on there. It looks great. I'm sure it sounds great. You know, for all of you fans of dirty cartoons, check it out.
Alright, this is probably the one I'm most excited about. 6 Feet Deep by Gravediggaz. If you're not familiar, it's a supergroup that includes RZA from Wu-Tang and Prince Paul himself. I was turned on it by the Tales from the Crypt soundtrack. Yeah, finally back on vinyl. And you got RZA's grill there.
Oh, nice. Good little
Can't wait to see
close-up.
that spinning on my turntable.
Shines. Which is how I was introduced to the Violent Femmes. I know it's not cool to listen to greatest hits. Are you recording the dog? And you know what? I get it. We're good boys, but we're not that good. Violent Femmes. First time on vinyl. I already said both of those things, but that's all I need to say. It's good stuff.
It's going on your permanent record.
That's going on your permanent record.
Bloody Kisses, Typo Negative, the third record with the famous Summer Breeze cover.
Makes me feel fine.
Only 5,000 pressed worldwide. Hopefully you can snag one of these.
I'll give you $1 if you can tell me who wrote the song Summer Breeze.
Seals and Crocs.
I don't have $1 on me, but...
Don't mistake lack of talent for genius.
We got the newest, the latest and greatest from the Smashing Pumpkins on a really cool looking picture disc. Shiny and Oh So Bright, Volume 1. I was lucky enough to see them on this last tour, and it was pretty cool. And we were spinning. It was a CD. CD spin too.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did too. I thought it was real good. So, you know, pick that one up.
Ripple Waves by Cornelius, who I love from Phantasma fame. These are reworks, remixes from his last record, Mellow Waves. And who knew there's a Drake cover on here. So Cornelius is a Drake fan. We now know. Passion Fruit. Had to do it.
Blue Cheer, 67 demos. These guys are great. If you're not familiar, I highly recommend them. They say, I'm pretty sure they say, you know, without Blue Cheer we wouldn't have heavy metal, at least in the way that we have it today. Dickie Peterson, probably one of the greatest names in rock and roll of all time.
Worm. Pre-Black Flag, Chuck Dukowski. Some 70s sludge for you. Yeah, Exhumed. Can you dig it?
Chuck Dukowski.
Yeah. The other Chuck D.
The other Chuck D. Are We Men? What's that one's called? No, Are We Not Men? I got it as wrong as I could. Picture disc. First time on picture disc. Limited to 5,000. You can kind of see it better on that side. It's a little blurry over there.
The Amazing Jekyll Brothers. It's like us.
It's like me and you.
This has never been on vinyl before. Platinum selling album. Limited edition special package pressed on red double vinyl.
Double red.
Whoop whoop. Alright, last but not least.
Last but not least is Mr. Coltrane. We have John Coltrane, Untitled, Original, 11383 Impressions. I'm pretty sure this was like a lost recording that they recently unearthed.
It's true.
And released.
It's true.
Now, got 7 inches. Got LPs. Got just random things that are related. Well, let's do the 7 inches, then I'll tell you a story. So, all right. Chris Cornell, When Bad Does Good. They found that in his archives after he had passed. That's the A side. B side is is like a live song from a reunion of Temple of the Dog from a few years ago. It's a pretty awesome gray marble on the 7-inch here. That's right. Starting the video off. Comic book with a 7-inch inside by Czarface. You might remember that there was a whole record with a picture book inside that Czarface did a couple years ago. Czarface, of course, being 7L and Esoteric and Inspector Deck. Now, there is something. I'm going to show you the 7-inch first. Here we are. Okay, black vinyl. Now, what's the music on that sound like? Well, it sounds like kind of like updated version, a contemporary version of like a tribute to blaxploitation movie soundtrack stuff. But you know, they're hip hop folks, so you know, it's got, you know, like drum machines and stuff in there. It's really, really cool, and it's perfect to go along with this whole comic book, which is pretty cool. And you know, alright, so you can see the comic book's called the Dog Days of Tomorrow, and it's kind of like about you know, Czarface here has to fight these like dogs that have armor on them, and he has to call in his buddy, who is, hang on, yeah, there he is, that's right, guess who that is? That's Ghostface Killah. And you know why we got Ghostface Killah in here? Well, I mean, not me, well, they put him in there is because they're doing he's gonna be on the next Czarface album. That's a fun one. Guns N' Roses. I think these two songs, so it's like early stuff, and I think both of these tracks were on the Appetite for Destruction box set in the like 7-inch that came with it. And this one is, as you see, transparent red, and might be wrong about that being in the 7-inch. You know, this is why we have comments on YouTube, and so hey, correct me if you have the box set. Let me know if it's Lindsey Stirling 7-inch picture disc. This the front side. This is she's doing "You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch." But take a look at this, because her like ballerina outfit there is a clue to what's on the B-side, which is "Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairies," of course, from the Nutcracker. And these are a lot of fun. If you like her, or if you like Christmas music, I think you would enjoy that. And got at least one other holiday, Christmas holiday record in there. Unwritten, but not counting the one I'm holding, actually. So Unwritten Law, Christmas 7-inch. Side 1 is Unwritten Christmas, and Sum 41 guests with them on that. Let me show you the back. We got B-side Please Come Home for Christmas. Black vinyl. And these are both pretty rare tracks. One was on Australian CD5, and the other one was like a K-Rock or some other radio station compilation. Hard to find, hard to find, hard to find. All right. David Axelrod, though. So he came up in the 60s as a producer, more like jazz. This particular record here, Earth Rot, is, well, first I'm going to show you the cover because it's pretty neat. All right. See if I can get this to look. There you are. If you get your own copy, all right, speaking of which, the reason you might want to get your own copy is this is one of those things that, you know, you might not think to get, but it's really cool. The music is kind of like almost like a Jesus Christ Superstar-y kind of thing. The text is all taken from the Bible, but they're all they're all things about the environment. You know, because this is like from 1970, right before Earth Day, and so, you know, the environmental movements are just kind of getting started. So this is all about we shouldn't be screwing up the environment that God gave us. I think that's the point of this. And I don't like to describe what somebody else's religious views are. So you get you listen to it, you make up your own mind. It was like the last one of it, like a trilogy of records that Axelrod did, and it comes with. All right, so check this out. Buried in there, look at that. There's the Capitol Records logo. Now, a couple things I should mention. So the thing about Axelrod. So this, like I said, this music is kind of like operatic, like a Jesus Christ Superstar kind of thing, just with especially with the way the vocals are. All the Axelrod stuff that I've ever heard is like very. It's like really good rock orchestration. With you know, the core of it is, you know, guitar, bass, drums, but it's just really, you know, it's really super well done. But something that Axelrod wanted that never couldn't happen during his lifetime for whatever reason was he wanted instrumental versions of the album released as well. So this has the original album with the vocals and everything, and then a second disc with that, and also a really nice booklet here, which is 28-page booklet, and you know, it's like your typical really nicely done booklet. You know, it's LP size. It's got lots of great photos, interview, you know, essay, you know, all kinds of. You know, it's like the good version of what this whole kind of package could be. But it explains about how now again the record label, like how the whole thing went down and how the reissue happened. And I read this before, but I think this is real important. So here's just the beginning of the essay written by the Now Again guy, writing about the great music producer, composer, arranger David Axelrod without first acknowledging the love and respect I had for the man seems silly. Tried and gave up. So here's the thing, right? This, you know, it's just like a project of, like a passion project for. But you know, if you buy records from Now Again, you kind of know that you could tell they really love making what they're making and bringing some obscure but awesome stuff to us. Another label that I kind of think like that has the other David Axelrod album, Get On Down. They're East Coast, I think, and Now Again's West Coast, I think. But so the funny thing is, it's the same thing. Now this is, you might find this under P for Pride, because that's like. That's the name on it. It's not going to be next to the other one, except maybe in maybe some stores that don't computerize stuff and just kind of go by, you know, more by what it is than what the computer says it is. As you can see, they got like a Warner Brothers logo on here, and yeah, this one, Pride. This is more like you know, if you're into Tim Buckley, I think you would really this would be right up your alley. Tim Buckley, not his kid Jeff. Tim, talking about the original one. Tim. All right. Sheryl Crow. And check this one out here. So nice gatefold. You got the whole thing, and so you see lots of good stuff on the inside. All right. Tuesday Night Music Club is the album, in case you didn't recognize it. And there's a really nice blue. It's 2 records. And both of them have this same real nice blue. Speaking of folk music. When the list was announced, I got the sense that a lot of people were pretty excited about the Collective Soul album. And so it's kind of what you expect, right? Front and back. You know, Record Store Day sticker, just like all of them. But it's a really nice, deep, deep red. I'm tilting it to get it to match the actual red, and it's like that. That's kind of like what it really is. Nice, deep red. We got our, you know, lyric sheet, lyrics on there. Should be good. Another record that people kind of freaked out about when they heard about it, because it's a soundtrack that's never been out before. Besides the fact that, you know, Paul Williams did the music. I know I was saying it was Andy Williams before, but Paul Williams did the music for a Jim Henson thing, and so. You know, awesome soundtrack, but maybe because it was a made-for-TV special, I don't know. But anyway, Emmet Otter's Jugband Christmas, everybody. And, you know, if you know these songs, they're like, well, like you know, they're sweet and beautiful and lovely, like, you know, Muppet-type movie kind of songs are. A little bit of humor in them, but, you know, there's a Jugbandy thing, because that's what it's all about, right? You know, real nice, real nice, real nice. Yeah, black vinyl. This is one of those things where you're like, you know, you gotta wonder. I don't know what the story. I don't really know what the story is. I guess I could have asked him, but I mean, it's just typical for Res Saraband, right? They're, you know them, like a real good soundtrack label. They just think of stuff that other people would kind of forget about. Okay, this is cool. This is from the same folks, believe it or not, who did that Collective Soul record. Feelin' Right, Saturday Night. The Rick and Ron Anthology. And Rick and Ron was a New Orleans record label, like Professor Longhair. You know, this, you know, go to the Mardi Gras, you know what? Right, you know that one? It whistles like the whole first verse. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. You know, if you're like a Wings fan, you know, like there's a Wings outtake. There's a Wings outtake that's kind of a rip-off of this song. Anyway, it's compilation though, so yeah, there's Professor Longhair, but you also get like Irma Thomas is on here, Johnny Adams, Martha Carter, Al Johnson, Joe Jones. I don't think that's not Philly Joe Jones. That's plain Joe Jones. So yeah, let me show you. All right, there we go. I'm just going to show you some stuff about it, let you see it, and I'm going to tilt this. Look carefully because you can see there's like there we go. There's like a clear coat over the top of it, which brings out, there we are, right? Looks like 45 labels. It's neat. Big essay there in like CD booklet sized font. There you go. Cool looking craft records. That's a real fun. I was listening to that while I was setting up the camera. Actually, that's a pretty cool record. Hey, speaking of which, all right, right, similar. You know, Ella Fitzgerald. Ella Fitzgerald. Here we are. So we thought this actually is from. Do you remember the Ella Fitzgerald record from the pink and the blue one? It's pink on one and blue on the other. From this one's from a little bit before that. It's 20 minutes. So what was cool about that one was it was like recorded right when she first hooked up with Norman Granz and Verve, and this is like from just a little bit before that. So they found another 20 minutes of unreleased Ella Fitzgerald. This is Ella at the Shrine. It is on like a clear yellow, transparent yellow vinyl. Fritz the Cat, which was an X-rated, like R. Crumb cartoon back in the very early 70s. There is a soundtrack picture disc to it. And if you look at that little card there, what that little card's telling you to do is to take the record, and if you put this on your turntable, you can see, if you know what I'm talking about, you see like a zeotrope thing here. And so basically, if you let that spin, and what you want to do is get your cell phone and get it real close up right against the record. Well, hold on, let me show you. I did it. This is how it looks. Music's right too. And. All right, you know how a lot of picture discs come in the plastic? They usually put it on a picture disc, splits, and it just sucks, and you can't get the record out. Well, look how easily this comes out, because it's a different kind of sleeve. You know, in fact, this is like the same folks who got that Emmet Otter thing. Were like, hey, you know, there's this thing that nobody figured out for 40 years, but we're gonna do it. When you look at the record store day list, right, and I'm always like, yeah, I didn't even know I needed that, but I definitely need that. This is one of those for me, the Herbie Hancock live album Flood. And this was only released in Japan. This is like his, you know, Headhunters era band, so it's the fusiony funk stuff. But let me show you a wicked cool cover here. And the inside, there you go. And I mentioned this in one of the shorter ones I did the other day, a week or two, I don't know, last week, whatever, that it starts off with Maiden Voyage, which is an earlier song of his, and it's I enjoyed hearing totally different band play that. There's a, you know, look at that, the label looks cool, and you know, this is another one of those get on down records, so it's nicely done, nicely done. Hey, what do we got now? All right, Insane Clown Posse. This is the Amazing Jekyll Brothers record. 2 LP. It's not a gatefold. You know how sometimes you get 2 records stuck in here, just like that Ella Fitzgerald one I didn't show you before. It is on a kind of like cough drop colored record. It's 2 records. The Jazz Dispensary series. It's all like this is Purple Funk #2, because you remember like a couple record store days ago there was this one. It looked like this was a white thing that kind of like flipped open 4 ways. It's real hard, but there was 4 different versions, 4 different records in there. That was Purple Funk #1. So now here we have, excuse me, Purple Funk #2. It's still the same artist. It's the same product manager picking the songs. Really nice, like lilac kind of swirl marble thing here. And these are, a lot of these have vocals on them, and it is like nice 70s funk. You know, some of them kind of stray into disco territory almost. I mean, it's got the beat, but it's you know, it's not like the stuff that people didn't like about disco is not present here. It's just good old stuff. All right. Hey, Kidz Bob Christmas, and you know what? I think this probably, I forgot to bring it home, but I think this is the one with, this might be the best, in some ways, the like most record store day piece of the year. And I say that because some people are real excited about it and some people are mad about it. So it hit a nerve, but the packaging is really cool. So Kidz Bob Christmas 25 holiday hits. You can see what it is. If you're not familiar with the Kidz Bob series, it's been going on for quite a few years now. It's kids singing, you know, pop songs over really like straight ahead, like synth kind of backing, sort of like. You know, you can tell they just crank it out. You know, it's probably like people who, for all, I don't know who makes it, but you know, it's probably like people who make those karaoke discs. It's done like that. But there's some super cool stuff about it. All right, download card, which I don't know. This is the only one of these records I got where the download card fell out. Red vinyl on one, green vinyl on the other. And to make it like kind of fun, you can see there's the red and green motif going on both of them. But you get a gingerbread cookie recipe on this one. Track list. Here you have a holiday checklist of, you know, things you could be doing, like making cookies and I don't know, I forget what it is. Drinking hot chocolate, go sledding, build a snow person, play a board game. Well, you see that orange cabinet right there. That's board. Yeah, you got some board games in there. You want like the original German settlers, like the Ton. That's right in there, man. Now let me show you the inside though, because this is one of the things I think is pretty cool about it. Because see, like right there. I'm going to show you this side first. So it's pictures of the kids. You know, nice holiday thing. But look at this. It's an advent calendar. It's an advent calendar. Look, with her, one of the kids in there, and I have not opened any of the other ones, and I'm gonna. Well, why not? You know, like, let's see. Ah, yeah, see, look. Present. Now, oh, yeah, yep, okay. So, I'm not going to spoil this for you because, you know, if you, like, you know, if you do advent calendars, you probably know it's a lot more fun to be surprised. Be surprised. Now, the Lebron Brothers Orchestra. They're Puerto Rican guys who, brothers obviously, who came to, I think, New York City area in the 60s. And this is like really cool. Oh, see, it's called, look, Psychedelic Goes Latin. So it's, you know, Latin jazz, a little bit of salsa in there, with a psychedelic kind of sprinkling on it. it's really cool. You could hear, you know, it's like probably the guys who formed Santana probably had some awareness of this. War absolutely is influenced by this. I don't know if they would admit, if they ever admitted it, but that's kind of what I hear. It's a really nice, you know, look at that. Black vinyl with a really cool swirly label. And I guess the thing you want to know is that it's pretty cool stuff. It's really cool. And the Fania here, that's a label to, you know, they're like the Sub Pop of that scene. Manchester Orchestra. This is a Demos record on nice looking, it's like a pink swirl vinyl. It's a little, it's not swirl, it's like got the, I don't know, they all radiate outward from the center. And it's just a little bit darker pink, I think, than the Jazz Dispensary purple one. There we are, and it's just like a negative of that. I'm going to hold up the track listing for you so you can see if there's songs you enjoy, you know, because they're from the Black Mile album. It's always cool, my opinion, to hear. I like, personally, I like hearing demos. I like hearing acoustic things. I like hearing the stuff that, you know, I like hearing artists getting caught off guard or whatever. Like, not super duper polished. I like it when they're polished too. But it's nice to hear the other side of them too, how they build stuff up. Speaking of demos, so Popeye. Remember the Robin Williams movie Popeye? All right. Well, maybe you do, maybe you don't. When Robin Williams died a few years ago, everybody was saying how bad a movie it was, and I saw it when I was a kid. I loved it, and it was one of those things where what other people didn't like about it, which was that it was freaking weird, but it was weird in a way that a little kid me understood. I think, you know, it's one of those things where, like, sometimes adults just fucking don't get it, you know, and I'm speaking as one. I realize, you know, like, kids are into things, you know, like a lot of people don't get this. Anyway, it was just, you know, it was like weird in a way that, I don't know, it was weird and awesome, and you know, Robin Williams coming off a Mork with the big arms, you know, anyway, awesome movie. But these are the demos, so the soundtrack to it itself is great. And the thing about these demos are, this is, you know, Harry Nilsson working with the band that, you know, ended up being on the soundtrack. And in fact, some of them were in the movie. So it's Van Dyke Parks, it's Klaus Voormann, I think it's Jim Keltner. No, I got it wrong. It's Ray Cooper, who's, you know, on a lot of those like Traveling Wilbury kind of records too, like Keltner is. Nilsson is directing the guys, like, hey, you know, I liked how you came in, you know how you waited on that last one, and you waited a long time before you came. That was perfect. It's nice to hear him, you know, and this is, you know, Klaus Voormann, you know, like the guy who drew Revolver, the Revolver cover, he drew it. You know, he's friends with the Beatles from way back when, played Man for Man. You know, Van Dyke Parks is playing piano on this, but of course, you know, he was Brian Wilson's collaborator on Smile. Yeah, so as you could tell, I really am excited by it, and I enjoy it. We expect great packaging on Record Store Day, do we not? Yes, we do. And I'm going to set this aside here. Okay, so, all right, look at this, right? Sublime, greatest hits. Like a matchbook cover. Yeah, opens like a matchbook cover. There's even a striker on the back. And listen, you get that? Yeah, it's textured. There's a big, somebody drew on it with a big marker. That's probably where the UPC is or something. Yours, I don't think yours will have that. It's probably just done. And let's see what else comes in here. We get a flexi disc. We get liner notes, which I've noticed, you know, is in a lot of Sublime records, the liner notes are on a little separate piece of paper. It seems like they like to give us that little bit of extra. And opaque yellow vinyl, real nice, bright yellow. I've been doing these in alphabetical order, but I'm going to skip ahead to W and you'll see why. So we got the matchbook. Now we got the lighter. Look at that. All right. And this is the replica of how the Wailers album Catch a Fire, get it? Catch a Fire, came. And what's the big song on here? Stir It Up, I guess. Anyway, the Wailers, yes, Bob Marley's on it, and nicely they fold this thing over. It is a smoky clear vinyl, and you can just kind of see, like right there, you see a little bit of white. So it's mostly clear with a little bit of white in there. It's a nice effect. Pretty important album. Now back to your regularly scheduled alphabetical order. The 31st of February. Now, a trio, kind of like, you know, folk psych kind of thing. I mean, they were on Vanguard Records, and this is from 68 or 69. You know, sounds like a lot of Vanguard things from the time. But, you know, like it's a nice, like, totally stands on its own. It's the only album they released. But the thing about it is Butch Trucks. Butch Trucks, who went on to be one of the drummers in the Allman Brothers, is a member of this trio. It's nice, and you know, there you go. Look, they copy the old Vanguard thing, heavy 180 gram vinyl. And now you might, maybe you got the Allman Brothers box set Dreams back when it came out in 1989. Maybe you have that. If you do, you might remember there are a couple tracks by 31st of February, but those two tracks are later. Those are from after this was recorded. At some point, they hooked up with Greg and Dwayne Allman and did some stuff, but that was after this was done. So even if you have that box set and you're like, yeah, man, I got enough 31st of February. No, you don't have any of what's on here. Yeah, like it's not Allman Brothers-y at all. The one in the box set, you know, a little more. But, you know, he was doing a different thing. And just because, you know, you got the same drummer on, that doesn't mean it's the same, going to be too similar. Like, you know, Mitch Mitchell's on this. It doesn't sound anything like Jimi Hendrix. And Noel Redding's on that too. Doesn't sound anything like Jimi Hendrix. It's just kind of like, you know, this is not a record store day thing at all. It did come out this year though. This is a record store day thing, no, and it was, you know, never really intended as any kind of rip-off type of thing. It's a legitimate release. Too Short, with a whole lot of, you know, what the big song on here I think was, well, Blowjob Betty, I think was the big song. I don't think Kidz Bop ever did a version of that. Maybe they did. I don't follow them too carefully. But anyway, 2-record set, black vinyl. Again, it's the 2 records in the one thing, which probably saves you $1 or $2 on your purchase price. And that's got that nice, you know, early 90s, late 80s, like the, I mean, it's dirty, but, you know, it's cheery. It's a cheerful hip-hop sound. Permanent record, the very best of the Velvet. Violent Femmes. Not Velvet Underground. Don't know why I said that, because I knew that. Violent Femmes. And the sleeves, clear, Coke, they call it the Coke bottle clear vinyl. Coke doesn't seem to mind. Real nice pictures on the sleeves. You get, let me show you the ones on the other one. Pretty funny. Well, I mean, that's not funny, but these are funny. Nice gatefold. It's funny that I'm showing you the cover last, but okay. A lot of stuff to look at while you're listening to it. So, add it up. Hey, add it up. It's a good deal. All right. Yes. On to a couple Z's here. Frank Zappa and the Mothers of Invention were only in it for the money. Mono mix. And picture disc. There are, I believe, 4 different picture discs, and they're not labeled all the same UPC. There's no sticker anyway, so even if you saw this, you'll still be surprised by what you get. Of course, it comes with your cutouts, just like in Sgt. Pepper, and it looks a heck like it. And this is a kind of famous photo of the mothers anyway. There we are, parody cover. And yeah, so here's the thing, right? This, remember Lumpy Money came out like 10 years ago? This was the 40th anniversary of this. Now we're at the 50th. So Michael Kurtz of Record Store Day sent me this at some point when I was recuperating from a total medical fuck up, malpractice level. Should have sued the asshole. But anyway, Michael sent me this and a bottle of Iron Maiden ale. Sent it right to the hospital. He sent me friggin' beer to the hospital. Like in oh man, I can't remember what movie it is where they're drinking beer in the hospital. But anyway, what's the point of it? The point is that just this afternoon, I put this on because disc 1 of this has the mono version that's on this, because I wanted to compare how does the CD sound compared to the picture disc. Because, picture discs everybody thinks sound terrible. And this is far from terrible. It's fine. It's fine, maybe even good. And Bernie Grundman, the guy Bernie Grundman did the cut it. So I think it's all analog too. So I don't think it's from the master that they used on that. So hey, check it out. All right. The Zombies. There's another picture disc, right? Odyssey and Oracle. Great album. And we've had this. The first vinyl reissue of this was for Record Store Day, I don't know, 5 years ago, maybe? Something like that. It seems like they've been real generous, and there's been Zombies something at least once a year for Record Store Day. Now we get picture disc of the front and back covers. And if you watch my videos, you know how much I love that album. That is, but it's an easy album to love if you, it's an important psych album. And this, I guess I screwed up my alphabetical order and stuck this in the box. This is the last one I got. So Stay Awake, which was, came out right at the and in that transitional period between the end of the first end of vinyl and when CDs were starting to overcome. So I don't know if this has ever been on CD before. It's a 2 LP set of a whole bunch of surprising people doing covers of songs from Disney films, and you could pause it and read them all if you want, but I'm going to give you some of the highlighting things. That so first one's Ken Nordine and Bill Frisell and Wayne Horvitz. So surprising amount of surprise. It's just an interesting combo. And Frisell's on the guitar player's on a lot of these other songs on here. We got next one, Little April Showers from Bambi, sung by Natalie Merchant, Michael Stipe, and the Roaches sing. So that's kind of a surprising. That's surprising, but you also got Los Lobos doing I Want to Be Like You, Ooh, Ooh, Ooh. Bonnie Raitt and Don Was, or maybe it's this whole band. Yeah, it's the whole Was Not Was band. Blah, blah, blah. Tom Waits with Chad Blake and Mitchell Froome and Mark Rebo backing him up. Oh, but I guess, Rebo's on his stuff. The Suzanne Vega one, we got Sid Straw, so it's kind of like obvious 80s people. Buster Poindexter, who was kind of big at the time, but anyway, you also got Imasu Mac. You got Nilsson, and Arta Lindsay is part of his band, and Terry Adams from NRBQ, but you also have an NRBQ chunk of a medley. There's the Sun Ra did a thing, Ringo Starr and Herb Alpert and Bill Frisell and Terry Adams and Harry Nilsson and Jim Keltner. So all on one song.
So that's what we got. There are many more that we just didn't have time to talk about, but they're great. We hope to be back on the main stage here pretty soon with my new trucker hat Next got another Slayer tease gonna bust out.
It's true.
So look forward to both of those things.
See you Friday.
Boom, 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 boom.